Well, folks, the world is looking for a way back to moral equivalence after watching the worst slaughter of Jews since the Holocaust. The nice thing about the media is they will provide them with that moral equivalence if they can. One of the reasons that the world feels capable of slipping back into this ridiculous moral equivalence, the soft, lukewarm bathwater of moral relativism, is because the media do it for them. The media make it super easy. So last night, for example, CNN's Erin Burnett was talking about the conditions under which hostages are being held. There's still 200 plus hostages who are being held in bondage by Hamas. And again, the world community seems to have far less words for Hamas holding hostages than they do for Israel trying to kill members of Hamas. In any case, here is Erin Burnett weirdly praising the conditions under which hostages are being held. I've never heard this before. Honestly, I've never heard a situation in which a hostage is taken, babies, the elderly, and the media are like, yes, but they do have sinks. Like, what?
Some things stand out in the mundane necessity, right? You're talking about tunnels. We know these tunnels have ventilation. We know that they've been known to have air conditioning. This has all been reporting that we've heard from the Israelis over the years. But the fact that she's saying she was held underground for more than 2 weeks, that there was shampoo, there was antibiotics, there was a guard per hostage in the experience she had, that there were medics and paramedics, and obviously she is elderly. The other woman who was released also elderly and had medical needs, and that they had the medicine needed, and if not, something similar to replace it. It is pretty stunning because you've got to contrast that with what's happening above the ground, right? Where there isn't water, never mind shampoo. Okay, they don't have water. They're using toilet water. There is no morphine for any kind of amputations. Antibiotics, no, right? But Hamas had stockpiled all of that and has all of that underground. And that's what we're learning from her.
That's weird. Why are we describing the magic of the tunnel networks? I mean, what she should be saying, Erin Burnett, the logical conclusion of what she should be saying there is because Hamas cares about keeping terrorists and doesn't give a crap about its own civilians. But, of course, CNN is never going to go quite that far. Best underwear on planet Earth, Tommy John underwear. They are the best. The holidays are right around the corner, and Tommy John's makes a fantastic holiday gift. Why not give the gift of comfort to everyone on your list, including yourself, with those new Tommy John underwear, loungewear, and pajamas? When you give Tommy John, your loved ones are much more comfortable. They can do everything better. Make giving Tommy John a holiday tradition. Both women and men love getting the gift of Tommy John. My wife loves the stuff for the ladies from Tommy John. I only wear Tommy John underwear. They are just that good. Tommy John is cozy enough to use as sleepwear, stylish enough to wear during casual nights out or quick strolls to the coffee shop. And of course, their underwear are just fantastic. I literally took all the other underwear and threw them out. I only wear Tommy John's. Shop Tommy John's fall sale. It's happening right now. Save 20% off site-wide at TommyJohn.com/Ben. That's 20% off everything for a limited time only at TommyJohn.com/Ben. See site for details. Everything from their underwear to their loungewear makes a great holiday gift. And again, restock your wardrobe today and make yourself a little more comfortable. You're wearing those underwear all the time, so they may as well be comfortable. 20% off everything right now at TommyJohn.com/Ben. The regular baseball season is now officially over. That does not mean the fun has to end. Last night, the NBA season started back up. That means now is the perfect time to join Prize Picks. That's because Prize Picks offers projections on pretty much every sport there is. NBA, MLB, NFL, NHL, PGA, college sports, esports, NASCAR, tennis, MMA, even disc golf, whatever you are into. Prize Picks is the easiest and fastest way to play daily fantasy sports. You pick 2 to 6 players and you choose whether they will score more or less than their Prize Picks projection. You can win up to 25 times your money on a single entry. You don't compete against other people. It's just you versus those projections. Plus, Prize Picks has that reboot policy. It keeps your entries in play, even if one of your players gets injured. For NFL games, college top 25 football matchups, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and doesn't return, that player is then rebooted. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with injury insurance. Producer Jake, for example, big fan of Nikola Jokic. He is the Joker on the Denver Nuggets. And he went off last night, 29 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists, another triple-double for the Nuggets. And he was right with that pick. Go to prizepicks.com/Ben. Use promo code Ben for a first deposit match up to $100. That is prizepicks.com/Ben. Promo code Ben for deposit match up to $100. Go check them out right now. This notion that the world is a collection of like-minded nations who just have to talk it out is ridiculous. It's why the United Nations as a premise was always idiotic. It was always idiotic. Pretending that the United States and China are going to get together in a room and decide on world policy is stupid. It's stupid. It's always been stupid. And that's the Security Council. What's even stupider is imagining that the General Assembly is anything but a collection of some of the worst nations on planet Earth. You got like Sudan making world policy. You got England given the same vote as like Libya. It's wild and insane and stupid. And the fact that anybody treats this this way is just, once again, evidence of a cultural ethnocentrism that comes with the West. One of the great ironies of the anti-ethnocentrism movement from people like Edward Said, who wrote the book Orientalism, suggesting that the West had a dim view of quote unquote the Oriental cultures, and that had led them to colonialism and apartheid and all the rest of it. And really, that was ignorant. We should study those cultures from the inside. Ironically, that has led to a new sort of ethnocentrism in which the West assumes that everybody thinks like members of the West. And thus, everyone can be trusted and treated as moderate. Queen Rania, again, is welcomed in capitals around the world as some sort of moderate while she stands for Hamas. I mean, here she was yesterday talking about it's a glaring double standard for the world to, defend Israel, defending itself from terrorists.
In the last couple of weeks, we have seen a glaring double standard in the world. When October 7th happened, the world immediately and unequivocally stood by Israel and its right to defend itself and condemned the attacks that happened. But what we're seeing the last couple of weeks, we're seeing silence in the world. Countries have stopped at just expressing concern or acknowledging the casualties, but always with a preface of declaration of support for Israel. And, are we being told that it is wrong to kill an entire family at gunpoint, but it's okay to shell them to death? I mean, there is a glaring double standard
This is
here.
Such trash. I'm sorry, this is such trash, and it's obviously morally equivalent trash. By the way, this is the same kingdom that massacred 3,000 Palestinians in 1970 and expelled 20,000 Palestinians just to get rid of its radicals. I don't see them bring that up ever, ever, ever. By the way, the Jordanian security services are not known for being particularly nice to Palestinian radicals. You know why? Because if they were, they'd be overthrown. But again, it's all fun and games when the West pretends moral equivalence. And that moral equivalence allows them to pressure Israel into quote-unquote two-state solutions and all the rest. Pressuring Israel to bring fuel into the Gaza strips that Hamas can use it. By the way, aerial photos show that Hamas currently has 500,000 gallons of fuel available to it. It's using all of it, presumably, to support its terrorist operations. Meanwhile, the so-called peace process partners that Israel is supposed to be relying upon, the Palestinian Authority, Wall Street Journal today, long before Hamas militants burst out of their Gaza stronghold to massacre scores of civilians with handguns and assault rifles, Iran and its allies had accelerated efforts to smuggle weapons into a different part of the Palestinian territories, the West Bank. Using drones, secret airline flights, and a land bridge that traverses hundreds of miles and at least 4 national borders, the smuggling operation is raising the specter of a new conflagration in the war between Israel and Palestinians. It poses a growing threat to Jordan, a staunch U.S. ally which borders Israel and the West Bank and has been struggling to contain a growing flow of drugs and arms. Iran wants to turn Jordan into a transit area for weapons going into Israel, said Amir al-Sabaileh. You wonder why Jordan is standing for Hamas? Because they are also held hostage by Hamas's allies. That would be the reason. And yet at the same time, it's the West promoting the idea that Israel has to make concessions to these same exact people. It's the Palestinian Authority, which has allowed all of this to happen, and which pays, by the way, again, they sign checks to the families of the terrorists. With your taxpayer dollars, by the way, since you're the ones who are sending money, I'm sending money to the Palestinian Authority right now. It's absurd. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.